What's going on YouTube? Jamie Potter here, PhD in Organizational Behavior from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. My goal in this channel is to unlock the value of research for organizations as well as for people. And with that in mind, we are talking about what's on everyone's mind at the moment, and that is the global recession. We've likely already entered into one. It's unclear at the moment how long that will last. There's a lot of predictions floating around, but there's a big question of how will this impact 2020 grads. Many are predicting doomsday scenarios. You know, when I graduated in 2009, people were predicting that sometimes careers never recover. You know, it can take decades to get back to the income level that you would have been at without the recession. So I wanted to hit the research here and see what it says. And what I found is actually some good news. So I went to two literatures here. I went to my favorite, the organizational literature, as always, but I also found some papers in economics as well. And what we find is actually pretty optimistic. For one, when we look at the economics research, no question, there are numerous papers that say, yes, there are sort of longer term implications of graduating during a recession. It certainly takes more time to get to the same income level as you would have without the recession. However, there's great news from this one paper that shows that it might not be as bad as you think. Certainly, people are impacted in that first job. They get lower income than they might otherwise have gotten. But for people that were already going to be on a higher trajectory without the recession, it actually doesn't take them too long to leapfrog back into these good jobs that they were going to be in and actually be in the same place that they would have without the recession. So that is really great news. On the organizational side, we also find something really interesting and sort of unexpected, and that comes from Emily Bianchi of Emory's Goizueta School of Business. I think that's how you say it.
James Tapkenhorst, Knoxville, Tennessee, and I say Goizueta.
Oh good, they don't know either. Okay, perfect. So Emily Bianchi looked at a number of different pieces of data. She actually did 3 different studies within her publication. She looked at 2 longer term surveys that are federally funded. That is the General Social Survey, as well as the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth. Quite a mouthful.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
And in the 3rd study, did her own sample of just asking some adults online some survey questions. And what she found consistently across these is that actually people that graduate during recessions actually experience greater job satisfaction, not only in the near term, but also over many, many years, which she was actually able to track in study 2, which looks at this longitudinal survey of youth. And so the reasons for this are actually twofold. For one, when you graduate in a recession, you have more gratitude, and gratitude is a very powerful emotion. It's actually recommended many times when people are in sort of a bad place to jot down a couple things each day that you're grateful for, and it really can concretely change your mood and emotions. So when you graduate in a recession, it turns out you're just more grateful when you do land that job, and that actually doesn't go away. For me, that absolutely has not gone away. Since I graduated in 2009, I stayed in school for a while. I went to school right after from 2009 to 10, then I was in a PhD from about 2013 to 2018. So I certainly dodged the early effects of the recession. I also missed the bull market from 2013 to 2018. But when I got my first job in City Year in New York City, even though it was paying very, very little, it was just an AmeriCorps grant money essentially, I was so incredibly grateful. And to this day, when I get a job, I'm so grateful to have it. I just feel like, thank you so much for letting me in your office. I really appreciate it, and I try to go above and beyond for that. So 1, people are more grateful when they graduate in a recession. And 2, interestingly, they do fewer what are called upward counterfactuals when they graduate in a recession. So what's this mean exactly? When you graduate in a bull market, a great economy, you oftentimes think, could I have done something more? You know, I'm making good money, I got a job, but everyone's doing well. Could I have done something more? Could I have landed at that better investment bank? Could I have gotten a bigger job? Or could I have gotten promoted sooner? You're always thinking about what could have been better. But when graduating in a recession, there's less of that, right? And it kind of ties into that gratitude. I'm just happy to have what I do, and I'm not thinking about what could have been as much. I'm just happy with what I have. So in summary, graduating in a recession is never fun, but there could be a small silver lining here. Economics research would suggest that it may not take too many years for most people to get back to that same income level they would have been at. And two, the organizational research would show that actually this could benefit you over the long term in terms of job satisfaction, just being grateful for the jobs you have and really appreciating that for years down the road, 10 years plus in many cases. So 2020 grads, I'm rooting for you. Things are gonna be okay in the end. I hope this research helps. As always, I hope it's interesting. Please click the like button, subscribe. I'm putting all the links below to the research. Always make comments if you have any questions on what I talked about, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.